Spoiler warning for Season 2 of Star Wars The Mandalorian and the epic finale of Episode 8, because I think Grogu's future might be way more important to Star Wars than we first anticipated. Let's talk about the evidence for it. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk some Grogu. Let's talk some spoilers for Star Wars The Mandalorian, the Season 2 finale. Like many of you, I am still reeling. I'm still shook, man. That was an incredible episode, and the way they brought Luke Skywalker back and the way he moved and just everything about this episode, the rendition of Luke was absolutely epic. But I think it's almost so epic that many of us haven't actually taken a step back to consider what just happened. Now, Grogu, or Baby Yoda as we referred to him before, is not the main character of The Mandalorian. He's never been the main character of The Mandalorian, but he has in a lot of ways been the heart of the show. Grogu is adorable. Grogu is this super cute, lovable creature that wins the heart of this ruthless guy named Din Djarin, and he also won the heart of all the Star Wars fans. We love this character. And that character is now gone. That character's not going to be in The Mandalorian show any longer, at least not until a later season. And I am having a lot of trouble reconciling that. That is weird, because on the one hand, sure, you now let the show focus on Din Djarin. The show can talk about the Mandalorian throne, the Darksaber, and all the cool stuff, which, by the way, we will be doing videos on. Definitely want to check back to the channel. However, I can't shut out this part of my brain that is saying this makes zero sense. Grogu is the heart of the show. He sells toys, he sells merchandise, he sells everything. They obviously must put him in some other show. And then following that line of logic takes you to this really weird place where you're like, oh, okay, so then the next logical thing would be them doing a show with Luke Skywalker and Grogu, where Luke Skywalker trains a young Grogu and perhaps trains other Jedi, setting up his new Jedi Order. But then, of course, all the skepticism comes in. You're like, there's no way they're going to do that. That would be absolutely insane. And even though we got this delicious treat of Luke Skywalker at the end of this season, I think we're all like denying that they will actually just do a full show with Luke Skywalker in this time period, okay? So this is where I am at. It's like, this is crazy. So what are they going to do? Is Luke Skywalker going to be a part of the Ahsoka show? And I don't really think so. I personally believe that Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra, that whole thing is going to happen sort of exclusive or separate from whatever is going on with Luke. Luke is on a completely different wavelength. First of all, he's almost just walking through the world, this uber powerful godlike being. He's trying to understand what his place in all of this is and what he should do to try to bring balance to the Force and keep balance in the galaxy. And if you think about it, there's a whole bunch of people that could still pop up in Luke's academy. Now, here's the other part of this that's fascinating. We don't know how big Luke's Jedi Academy actually was. We don't know how many students he actually had. We all assume that what we see in The Last Jedi and what we've seen in the comic books is the full extent of Luke's academy, but it could have been much larger. What if, similar to what happened with Order 66, when Sidious and, Ben Solo destroy much of Luke's new Jedi, there were different parts of that order that were not there. They weren't at the temple. They were off doing a mission, or maybe they were training on a different world, or they were in transit back, or something like that. We don't know how many Jedi there were, and this leaves room for other Jedi to be out there in the galaxy in a post-Episode 9 world, which, we don't even have to go there yet. And here's the thing, they could absolutely do a new Jedi Order, involve Luke in a show where he's training these different characters. You can absolutely have that happen in a Disney Plus show. I think that would be incredible. But that's also, it still seems like a reach. Like, as crazy as it is, we just saw Luke. We never would have thought that possible. We're living in a new world. However, it still feels like a reach to think, oh, they'll just do a Luke show with his academy. But it no longer feels like a reach that we're going to just have that focused on and understand it a lot more. So maybe we get it in a book, maybe we get it in comics, maybe we get part of it in another series. But the whole idea of taking Grogu, I just don't understand. Like, you've got to have Grogu in live action. It doesn't make sense to not have him being seen in live action. He sells toys. He gets people excited. He breaks the internet. He's so useful. How are you just going to remove him from the show and not have him do something? And so I don't know. Like, ladies and gentlemen, it could be completely possible that we're going to get Luke and Grogu and maybe Ben Solo and other Jedi in live action and get this fully fleshed out. Now, last thing, when it comes to the character of Ben Solo, I have often said this is very key to making the sequels a little bit better. And I know some people, they want nothing to do with that. They're like, I don't want to make the sequels better. I don't even want to think about the sequels. That's fine. You can just ignore this part of the video. But for those of us that aren't as bothered by the sequels lore and are more bothered by the actual films and the things that were done in the movies, I think many of us have been looking for anything to make more sense of this timeline and to make these characters' motivations make more sense. And particularly when it comes to the character of Luke Skywalker, I am on this big kick that in order to make the Luke we meet in The Last Jedi make more sense, or any sense at all, we have to watch him go from the character we see in Return of the Jedi that then would put all of his hope in this new Jedi Order. Like, it is central that Luke puts all of his eggs into training a new generation of Jedi. And the reason that is because then when that fails, I can then understand why this would crush him so much, okay? So we need that context. We need it to make a little bit more sense. And a live action show that explained this very fact would do a lot to get us there. Now, it is also possible that Grogu is shelved for a little bit and pops up in a different show, maybe in The Mandalorian later down the line. That is, of course, possible. It still puzzles me, and I have trouble believing that they would do that. But right now, the dissonance between me thinking they won't make a Luke Skywalker Jedi Academy show is sort of going up against the dissonance of me believing, or not being able to believe, that they would just not utilize Baby Yoda. So I don't know. I'm confused. They could, of course, sideline him and bring him back eventually, but I'm just saying the mystery of what they will do next with these characters, regardless of whether it happens in a show or a novel or a comic or whatever, is fascinating. I think we would all love to see what is going to happen between Grogu and Luke Skywalker. Like, is Grogu going to pop up way later on in the timeline and be a Jedi Master and speak about how he was trained by the son of the Chosen One? And, like, is that now going to be a big thing? Like, because think about it, guys. We've been talking about how we want the next time period that we explore past Episode 9 to be well past Episode 9, like 100 years or so, right? Well, what character could still be around and be in their prime and also have been trained by Luke freaking Skywalker? Now we have that character. The next generation Yoda is here. I don't know, man. As a Star Wars fan, all this stuff is just blowing my mind, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm just really excited about Grogu, Luke, and the future of Star Wars now. So there's the speculation and the theory or whatever. Please, let me know what you think about this, and we're going to be covering the future for just Din Djarin very soon as well, because, of course, him now being the owner of the Darksaber leads to him potentially being the ruler of Mandalore. There's a lot to talk about there as well, so look out for that video soon. Hello, Internet. I'm Josh from the Den of Nerds, and yes, 2020 has sucked. That's why I'm calling on nerds from all different fandoms to come together to help support a good cause at the end of this year.
He's never fought us. Not us united.
Suicide awareness and prevention is more important in this moment than it has been in a long, long time. That's why I'm happy to have teamed up with many great content creators and do a full day of streaming, an event we are calling Deck the Hall of Justice. As many of you know, the Snyder Cut movement and Zack Snyder himself have put the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention at the forefront of their movement. They've raised a ton of money for this organization and done a lot of great work. December 20th, all of these different content creators will be streaming and raising money to give to the American Foundation for suicide prevention. And I will be kicking the whole thing off at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Paul from the Heavy Spoilers channel, and we are going to be giving away the juiciest secrets and spoilers from behind the scenes for all of the coming crazy DC movies, Star Wars movies and shows, and Marvel projects. If you're like us and you just can't help but want to know everything that is going on behind the scenes for all these juicy nerdy things, come on by, get your question answered by supporting a good cause. We of course welcome you to check out all of the other streams throughout the day and give what you can. Every little bit helps. I think it's going to be a big day and we are super pumped to be a part of it.